All right. I talked about the four laws of the financial prosperity. The first law I talked about was tracking, and the second law in the book is targeting. When you track your expenses on daily, you start seeing certain things that are not utilized or being used properly. So, for example, mine was like the phone bill. I was paying too much. If I didn't went and learned or read about or asked around or looked into it, I wouldn't have known it. That's the purpose of tracking. All right, and then I also gave an example. I had an internet that I'm paying like around, I don't know, 60 something like a month. I cut that out. So tracking helps you get in control of your finance, which is like very important. So you gotta make that a daily thing in your day. All right, and you gotta make it your daily habit. Tracking helps you know where the leaks are. So like, for example, if you let like your water run, like you let your water leak, it will eventually fill up your tub and it's gonna overflow if you didn't look after it or you didn't close it properly. Tracking also help you to accumulate resource. So once you accumulate that resource, the second law talks about targeting. All right, so you've gotten good at tracking. You also, by tracking, you've also gotten good. You've built like this resource, like this savings app. The question is, how do you want to deploy it? In the chapter, it talks about how like the main goal is, once you gain this resource, the best thing you can do for you and your family is to like invest things like this, like something like you produce, like what do they call, like something that you own, that can grow and you can sell over and over again. Something like business, like you can open a business. So, or let's say you borrowed money and you have that like the, and you gotta pay that money back because like you're not getting out because of the interest, because maybe you're paying just minimum or you're not even paying and the interest is just calculating up. So the first goal is to be debt free. Debt is like things that hold people back from building wealth, and it's been true for me, because at least like 3 years ago I bought this car and I'm still owned by this car. Where you can make more or you can get rid of something that is not producing you something. All right. So for example, a cow helps me to farm in order for me to produce crops. So the money acts as a tool. So even a cow itself doesn't farm because it needs other equipment. So money is a tool, and like you just gotta know how to deploy the money. I remember this like as a kid, like when we harvested. We also saved for replanting. Like any seed, like whether that's corn, wheat, whether that's beans, or whether that's anything that can regrow. We saved it to replant, and then we also divided into so like crops, you can sell it to buy other things, right? Like for example, let's say you don't grow oil or you don't produce oil, so you can sell your crops for oil. All right, let's say you don't have milk or you don't have a cow to milk. If you grow crops, you can sell your crops to buy milk. All right, let's say you want to buy butter and you don't know how to make butter. There's people how to make butter. You can sell your crops or your cow or your chicken or your eggs. You need to buy butter. All right, that's what you do. So it goes the same way. So like the emergency fund is sort of like a saving in case of anything. Like life is not like this. Doesn't go be if life goes. The funny thing is like that I just thought about, like like how the heartbeat goes boom 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 boom. That's life. But if the heart goes straight, that means you're not life. Holy snap. Yeah. So that's why it says if anything goes wrong, you gotta you gotta establish emergency fund for that reason, all right? So like emergency fund, then I can like go off in 2027, go back home, see a family member, something like that. And then when I come back again, continue. Because, like, you're gonna need a place to live. So if that place is like costing you like over 30, like 40 years, it's like withdrawing. That's like liability, right? Like it takes away. Right? So the best thing is by tracking. So tracking helps you manage, where things are. So the next thing is to deploy those resources, right? Where you want to put them, so you set up goals and the amount, and you put it towards that. You gotta have like producing asset, or you gotta produce asset. I don't know what they call this, like movies, like books. Books are like intellectual properties, right? Books, yes, things like that. So like things like their asset, like your mind is your asset, your time is your asset. So things like the best thing you can do is to own things that reproduce. For me, that's what I correlate to that is like a cow and chicken and goat reproduce, and land reproduce. So in the world where I am, where the resource is money and the time is the resource, the first resource, and then money second, and then people. I mainly it's people, but like money comes like very close, right? Like you gotta know these things in order to deploy it well, right? So goal is like the second chapter. Maybe I should refresh my mind on reading the chapter again. Maybe if I find anything interesting, I'll talk about it in the next video. But that's all the aspect of it. I hope it made sense to you. Goal setting, like if I didn't seek or I didn't look for it, like I wouldn't know any of this. To any young man, my advice would be read, man. Read. I don't care if you hate. I don't know. Maybe like for me, I also learn visually, but reading has helped me a lot and realize a lot. So I would recommend like to read. Reading has kind of like brought back like some like a lot of memories that was buried in the back.